Okay, stand by.
That's all right. Go ahead. Let him have his
Yes,
coffee.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes, when it opens up and you're doing something, it looks better.
Yeah, gives it that sort of casual approach.
Totally spontaneous.
Peter, the last time I saw you, you were still schlepping around in that Goodwill Reject trench coat, and now here you are in the in-laws, big motion picture career going for yourself, and looking so duded up in this picture. Change of image for Peter Falk, huh?
I think the clothes are nice,
They are in the in-laws.
I like wearing those clothes. I mean, I should say it's a little change of pace for me. I don't take the clothes that naturally, but it was fun to wear good clothes for a while.
And working with Alan Arkin, there is a fantastic chemistry that comes across on screen, Peter, between the two of you.
Yeah, we have Alan. I had heard of Alan before this. I knew he was an actor. But what I really like about him is his singing. Did you know he was a singer?
I've never heard him sing, but I know he's a singer.
Singer, yeah. He had a hit record. I don't remember what it was. When he first became an actor, he wasn't an actor. He was a member of this group, and they made one of those $1 million records or a million copy records. So he's got a terrific voice. I like to listen to him sing. He's also a good actor, and he's also funny.
You sing, Peter.
No, I can't carry a tune in a bucket.
Try.
This old man, he played knick-knack on my thumb. With a knick-knack, paddywhack. That's as far as I go. Can't go any further.
Well, that's not bad. I've heard a lot worse.
Not bad.
There have been a lot of million sellers that didn't sound that good to me.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Peter,
Yeah.
we get the image of you that you're the kind of guy who doesn't sweat the small stuff. He just takes what comes.
The fellow in the picture.
Well, always your work. We kind of get that idea about you. Now, in real life, are you a guy who doesn't sweat the small stuff, or do you go off the wall every so often?
I don't go off the wall too often, no. No, not too often. Let's see, the last time I went off the wall must have been 10 minutes ago.
What happened?
No, I'm just joking, Bobbie. Actually, I don't get too excited too often. Mostly, whatever I do, it has to do with the work. It has to do with the scene. There's something wrong with the scene. Something's bothering me about the work. But otherwise, I don't.
But do you quietly discuss it, or do you finally just explode?
I guess I explode now and then, but not too often. Less and less. Used to be more. Now it's less.
How do you account for that?
I don't know whether it's age or wisdom. I'm not sure. One or the other.
Let's say wisdom. Not getting older, getting better, Peter.
Getting wiser, I guess.
Peter, when you're working, especially in a comedy picture like In-Laws, do you break up easily in a scene?
Alan makes me laugh, yeah. He broke me up a couple of times. Yeah.
Do you remember the scenes?
Whenever we were doing the serpentine scene when we were running, I used to laugh at that. And that was because Alan was laughing. And he was laughing because that really amused him. He was just tickled by that scene. He was tickled by it so much that I could see on his face, and he wasn't laughing out loud. But whenever I looked at his face, I could just see that chuckle right behind the surface. And that made me laugh. Because I love it when I see an actor who really enjoys a moment. And at that time he did. And after every take, I wanted to do it again just to see him. Alan loves to run. And he loves to run funny. And he can run funny. And that hilarious moment in the scene when he's running. There are a lot of hilarious moments in it, but I think that's one of my favorites. Oh, the other thing that I laughed about in this scene is that we did all our own stunts in this thing, which is all right, except that I was scared. And the only thing that made me feel better, and that could make me laugh, was the fact that Alan was scared than I was. And I think we were both the most afraid when we were coming out of the helicopter. When we were coming down in the helicopter. But in the midst of all that fear, I must say I had a chuckle when I looked at Alan. He was frozen. Absolutely. Really, like this. We couldn't get him to go up on the thing. So that took away some of my fear. He's a wonderful guy, Alan Arkin. And I think probably he's a versatile actor. In some ways, I think he's one of a kind. I don't know of another actor in this country like Alan Arkin. I say that because if you take something like Saturday Night Live, all those people are uniquely gifted and they're extremely funny. If I ever went on Saturday Night Live, well, they'd have to protect me, and I'd be very careful. There were certain things I could do and a lot of things that I couldn't do, and the material would have to be special, as opposed to if she went on. Well, she's in her own pond then, She can't. He's probably as good a sketch comic as there is in the world. He can do that. That's homegrown. And I take an actor like Peter, who does character comedy. He doesn't need a joke. He doesn't need a line. He creates a character, and that character is hilarious. I don't know of another American actor that can do that as well as Peter does, with the exception of maybe Alan Arkin. And then the son of a gun, he can take a part that is totally straight with no comedy in it at all. I saw him do that thing on television where he played the defective from some Balkan country. Totally straight, or in Poppy, where he's totally straight part. And he can do that as well as the rest of us. I consider myself a straight actor. So he has an incredible bird. He's a rare bird. He's also a good father.
One quick question I have to ask you before we end this interview, Peter, and that is, will we ever see you teamed with Miss? Has anybody ever talked about the two of you getting together?
Oh, I don't think so, Bobbie. No, I don't think so. I don't know whether I should say this or not. I don't know whether I should say this or not. I think that let's first come back on the air, and it's not going to be Mrs. Colombo. They're going to change it. She's going to be a straight. I think that's better. I think it's better because I don't think that the audience really wanted Mrs. Colombo. Really, Mrs. Colombo, to be that. Oh, I don't think they expected her to be taken private. There was a household of about 40 kids, and if she was running around being very busy wiping their noses and trying to see to it that they got to school on time, and we had no interest in solving any murder, and said, that's your job, go solve it or call my husband, but leave me alone because I got all these kids here to take care of. And if they keep hassling her and keep bothering her just to get rid of them, she'd say, look under the mailbox and you'll find the clue there, now get out of my life. And she should have been busy doing that. And the other thing should have been a sideline. And I think they should have come from a different neighborhood, I think that's what the audience would have liked better at any rate. And who knows, maybe we'd bring Colombo back. I think that would be nice.
That'd be neat. That would be neat.
I'd like to do that too.
Peter, it's fun talking. Thank you so much.
I've enjoyed it very much.
And we enjoyed In-Laws. Thank you.
Thank you.
Picture, Peter.
Isn't it?
I'd like to.
Yeah.
Okay, let me. Peter, have you ever played a character like this before?
I don't think I've ever played anybody that had the mystery that this guy has. Otherwise, I remember when I first read this script, what impressed me about this guy, what really caught my attention, was the fact that I knew that he was up to something. I didn't know what. I really didn't know what his scheme was. And he's the type of character that keeps you off balance, because in the beginning, everybody thinks he's a successful businessman. And then you know that he's not. This guy's a gangster. And then in the next scene, you say, no, he's not a gangster. I know what he is. He's a con man. And then in the next scene, he's telling some cab driver that he works for the CIA, and you say, He didn't work for the CIA. This guy's a liar. And then you say, wait a minute. He does work for the CIA. He's a CIA man. And then you realize, no, he's not a CIA man. He's a crazy man. The guy is a lunatic. He's certifiable, and he should be put away. Get a net and take him away. And then the damnedest thing about him, what I like best of all, is that all the while that you think he's got a scheme, it turns out in the end that he does have one. And I'll give anybody a free car if they can figure out what it is that he was been up to. And he carries it off, and you love it, because there's a great twist ending, isn't it?
Okay, yes.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
You look at her just once, Pete.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, okay.
And we have speed.
Peter, have you ever played a character like this before? You and Alan have fun making this picture. Peter, are you a guy who breaks up easily on the set? How about that helicopter scene? Did that frighten you at all? All right, do you want to change?
Okay, roll.
Peter, I think the image that a lot of us have of you is that you're a guy who doesn't sweat the small stuff. Now, I wonder if that's your on-screen image, is it the same off-screen, or are you a guy who really comes off the wall with some regularity? Peter, I have to ask you this. What do you think about the Mrs. Columbo series? Are you through with Columbo forever, or might we have you as Columbo sometime in the future? Okay. Okay, let me give you one more thing. And this is Bobbie Wygant in Los Angeles as a guest of Warner Brothers In-Laws picture for the Texas News. Let me give you one.
Speed.
And this is Bobbie Wygant.